All right, it is now time for the Fantasy Show Playoff Edition, Week 1, right around the corner of the playoffs. But first, let's look at the final week of the regular season. Last week, Week 14, to see who got into the playoffs, as it was very tight standings as we went over last week the scenarios. This is how it played out. Starting with my matchup versus Cheese. Cheese needed the win to make it into the playoffs and needed to score a decent amount of points to keep his points for a lead, and he did both. So congrats to Cheese. Took me to the woodshed 136 to 94. Great week for Cheese when he needed it most. Goes to 7-7, gets into the playoffs. I fall to 7-7, but due to my high points for was also into the playoffs. So Cheese definitely needed it. His team performed, mine did not. So credit to his team. His team is definitely starting to look a little better these last few weeks. He's got some players that are hot right now with his Cowboys boys. Dak didn't do great, but he got 17. His running backs did pretty solid, 14 and 17. You'll take that all the time. CeeDee Lamb did his normal thing. Evan Ingram was the big one for Cheese. He was bitching and crying, as he normally does, Sunday morning when it looked like Trevor Lawrence was going to play. I'm not going to get all these checkdowns from the backup, blah, 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 blah. And what did Trevor Lawrence do? He threw 12 times to Evan Ingram for a huge 32-point game. Courtland Sutton had a nice game as well with a touchdown. So overall, a completely solid performance from Cheese's team, and his team's looking a little bit dangerous come the playoff time here. When we'll see the playoff bracket, I'll have to face him in a rematch in back-to-back weeks. Cheese, your comments after your big win to get into the playoffs.
Another solid win. Why are we echoing?
Who's echoing?
It's all
Who's echoing? Zombie?
Okay,
Zombie.
solid win. The guys keep on rolling. Cowboys boys, obviously best stack in fantasy. So
Ooh, okay. Best stat. That's a big statement right there. Cowboys, Boys is best stack in
Are you
fantasy.
unmuted in Discord? Is that why? You're muted
No,
in Discord.
I'm muted and deafened.
he's deafened. That's not the issue.
Yeah.
Probably this
It
year.
was, it was
Yeah,
zombies.
probably.
It was zombies.
Thank you. Okay, yeah. I mean, Dak is QB3, CD's wide receiver 2. Can't get much better.
Okay.
Jeez, would you say that your playoff spot was never in doubt?
No, it definitely wasn't
It
doubt.
definitely
It
was
was
in
100%
doubt
in doubt. I'm
2 weeks
not,
ago when he was crying his ass
Yeah,
off
it
after
wasn't
Rat
down.
beat
It
him.
wasn't down. When Pusa dropped 150 out of nowhere on me, it was definitely down. But we pulled it out, so I'm happy we made the playoffs. And whatever happens, happens in the playoffs. But
Okay, all right. Okay, interesting. All right, anybody else want to make some comments on this or Cheese getting a win?
Exactly.
I'll comment on
Anybody
me.
anybody scared of Cheese's team in the playoffs? I'm a little scared of Cheese's team. Not gonna
I'm
lie,
not.
they're playing pretty
I'm
good.
not.
I'm
They're
not,
playing pretty.
because I'm not on that side of the bracket.
Pusa's
Well,
not
I'm
you
getting
not.
into
might.
the
We'll
real
have to
playoffs.
eventually
scared.
face them in the finals if you both get to
Oh
the
wait,
finals.
I'm not
Golfer,
real.
are
I'm
we
not
gonna
real
look at
concerned.
the playoff
There,
predictions
there
we
will,
made?
there will, there will not be a
Yes.
Cheese versus Pook final. I can guarantee
Oh.
you that.
It could happen.
Okay.
One of us are not making the finals.
Okay.
Either,
All right.
it's
Yeah, you
not
don't
happening.
know. You don't know.
All right. Anyways, okay. Pussy, what were you gonna say? Real quickly,
I was gonna
before you
comment
say,
on
hold on,
me.
wait. Before you say anything, I'll give you some credit, Pussy. You are the only one in the show tonight that did not make the playoffs. Credit to you for being here to at least talk and give your thoughts on the playoff matchups,
He's only
even though
here
you're
because
not
he
in.
didn't know the show was on Tuesday.
Oh,
He
okay.
just
Well,
wanted to play.
all right. Well, go ahead, Pussy. Now I'll take my credit back then that I was giving you.
Oh, can I comment on my season?
Well, when we
When
get
we
to
get
your
to your
matchup,
matchup.
yeah.
Yeah.
Did you have any
Oh, okay.
comments on Cheese? That's what I was asking everyone.
Not gonna lie, it's kind of hard to take knowing that she's beat me again this year. So
That did better than you? Okay. You know,
yeah.
Cheese
Numbers
put in
this year.
the group chat the other day, I don't know if you've seen it, that, Pussy, another year of you missing the playoffs and Cheese making the playoffs, maybe you should start taking Cheese's numbers instead of your own. Any
Oh.
thoughts on that?
I will be commenting on my numbers
Oh,
come
okay.
my matchup.
Okay. All right, fair enough. All right, moving on to the second matchup of last week. This one was a bit of a shock on how
Upset
low
alert.
scoring it was.
Oh,
Also an
boy.
upset on who wins. Matt gets the job done, 104 to 98 over Bill.
Fucking damn it.
Gets Matt into the playoffs. I know a lot of us last week on the show were saying Matt's team is not trending in the right direction, and if
He's
he
fucking
lost,
garbage,
he
man.
was gonna miss the
Fuck
playoffs.
you, Matt.
But he
I
came
said
up.
Fuck
Matt was
you,
gonna win.
Matt.
he came up with enough points. I mean, it wasn't anything stellar, 104, but it was enough to be got Bill on a bad day. Bill's team, who was getting a
Fuck
lot of
you,
praise,
Matt.
looking really good.
Fuck you,
Okay,
Matt.
Pussy. All right.
Bill's team is
You'll have your
over.
moment. It's kind of falling apart a little bit for Bill at the wrong time. He's picked up some injuries the last few weeks. Keenan Allen now doesn't have a quarterback. I mean, he already had his injuries with the running back with Taylor. He had Nico Collins gets hurt. So a lot of banged up or downtrending players now with different spots. So I don't know if Bill's feeling quite as confident as he was feeling a few weeks ago. He'll probably never admit that, but it doesn't look as good as a well-oiled machine as it once did a couple weeks ago when he was looking like he was going to get the bye. Not only did Matt knock Bill off, but it sent Bill to second place, so he doesn't even get the bye to try to recuperate some of his injured players. He's going to be thrown right in this week in a playoff matchup, so we'll see. I don't know. I was giving Bill a lot of praise thinking he might just go all the way, but this team, it's trending a little bit to me like maybe a one and done after a great regular season, 9-5. I'm starting to wonder it might be a one and done for Bill in the playoffs once again. Anybody else want to make any comments on Bill's team or Matt's team or this matchup?
I do.
Okay, go ahead, Ray. I'm sure you're happy that your boy Matt got it done
Thank
for you.
you, my boy Matt.
Mhm.
Strip clubs on me this weekend. You got.
Now hold on.
Bill,
Now, are you
What?
saying that jokingly or seriously? Because if you say
need
that right
proof.
now, you know Matt
We
will
need
DM
proof.
you asking you for the money to
Right.
go
We
to the
need
strip
proof.
club.
If he needs money, I will
Oh.
give him a very
Oh,
deserving amount.
Oh,
This is
Matt, you hear that?
unbelievable.
Digit,
Golfer,
triple
golfer,
digits?
put a stop to this.
Pussy,
Smart
pussy,
money.
pussy. You might want to at Matt and tell him for once to watch the show for this part
And
right
for
here.
Bill, change your team name, buddy, because it's not that.
Because he didn't get the bye. Well, I don't know if
Fuck
Bill's
you,
changing
Matt.
that, but
But I will spend wisely, Matt. $10.
$10.
You might be able to bring
Buddy,
the same
he
stripper
can't
that you
even
did
find
last
that
time.
ugly ass stripper for $10. What do you mean? Oh my God, that
might.
Fuck you, Matt.
pussy. How much do those strippers cost? I guarantee they're more than $10.
The one he brought in.
Nah, I think it was like 35.
Okay. All right. All right. Anybody else have any comments they'd like to make on this? All right, moving on to the next matchup. This one was a surprise. We did not see this coming that Tyler would score 171 points, defeats Pussy 171 to 121. High scoring matchup when some of us predicted this would be the lowest of the week. Tyler's team popped off huge. It wasn't enough, obviously, to get in the playoffs as he was already eliminated, but it did secure him not getting in last place, and he actually jumped over Ernie with this huge win. So not only did he not get last place, but he didn't even get 11th place. So he was 11th place or better. Tyler did have to get the win as Zach also won. So it was a huge week for Tyler to kind of end his season off. So GG's to him. Pussy, strong effort. You could have used this 121 like the last few weeks maybe, and maybe your season would have still had a better chance. But another rough season for Pussy now, as he a few years ago it was all about his numbers, and then they failed him, and then last offseason he proclaimed he was going to go off those numbers and go off of his own numbers, and now that doesn't seem to be working either. So Pussy, what do you have to say for yourself and your team this year, missing the playoffs yet again?
So I will say that the last two seasons have been quite uneventful, just due to the fact that Nick Chubb has not been healthy most of the season.
Okay. So is
In
that maybe
terms
like
of
a
my-
sign to not take Nick Chubb anymore?
Yeah, I hope.
Okay, and then
Ooh,
when
I
next
know.
year comes around in the second round, you're going to take Nick Chubb again. It's kind of like Zach and Michael Thomas. He says he doesn't want him,
see.
but then he always ends up taking him.
I'm not going to take him off that third ACL or whatever the fuck. But anyway,
Oh,
on
okay.
my numbers,
Yep.
I would like to say this. Remember when I said I was never going to use my numbers?
Yeah, you used them.
I used my numbers this year.
Well, and it's the same result as the past year, so...
I used Fantasy Pros, and it seemed to not work.
Yeah, oh, you don't say.
You
That's
FFF.
Wow. I'm not surprised by that at all, actually. So you're just going to use them again next year too, or...
Who's shut
I
the fuck
think
up? We
so.
know you're going to.
Okay.
Whatever
And-
you say,
I-
you're gonna use.
And the
them.
same result will happen again?
I
That you
don't
missed
know.
the playoffs.
Yep.
Okay.
Husa,
You know, the...
comments on Tyler costing you $100.
Who did he lose to? Oh, yeah,
He lost
Slaps.
to Tyler.
Well,
If he
Slaps,
won,
too.
no, but if he won, then he would have won the bet against Ernie.
Hold on, can I get a comment from you? I got a DM this morning from Slaps because I said
Yeah,
that he
yeah,
needs
I
to
will
pay
be
his
sending
final
that.
payment plan, and he said you were gonna send it for him, but I haven't received it yet. So can we get that
Apparently
sent, please?
I
Yeah,
made
you
a
owe
$20 bet with him,
$20,
so
yeah.
I'll pay that tomorrow.
You can't pay it tonight. Okay, you broke. Bitch.
Okay, I'll pay it right now, you
Okay,
bitch.
thank you,
Fucking
thank
piece.
you.
Fusa,
Okay,
I need
continue
your-
with what you
Fusa,
were saying
I
about
need,
your.
I need your comments, Fusa, on Tyler costing you $100.
Well, that's why I'm starting to work full time. So that's very
Wait, why
those
why are you why are you
those
paying
are expensive.
Slaps' final entry? Or
Because
final
I made a
payment plan?
You made a
$20
$20 bet with
him.
him apparently.
Yeah.
When?
Well, he didn't want to do $100.
Oh, he saved you some money.
I usually have.
You should
I
be
usually have
thanking him for being
$200
so
bets.
cheap. You should be thanking him for that.
The
Okay.
first year I swept. Last year I'm breaking even right now on those bets.
Oh, really? Why? Because of the Zach
The
bet?
first year I
Oh,
I
you're
went
talking about from year to
2-0.
year. Okay. All right.
The second year I went I pushed. All right, yeah, I went 1-1, and then this year I'm 0-2. So
Wait, didn't you lose or you won the bet on Zach? Didn't you and Zach have a bet?
nope, Zach
Oh.
didn't want to have a bet this year.
Well, he was smart, saved some.
No, you had a bet with Cheese and Rat.
Okay.
You lost both of them.
All right. Well, Pussy, it's glad to see that you've learned from your mistakes these past 2 years, and I expect a full rebound next year where you make the playoffs and have a very strong team. Good luck to you next
Just kind of
season, Pussy.
depressing that I have
Yeah.
to wait that long to
Yeah, to
establish
bring
my
up the Fantasy
resume.
Pro numbers again for the draft. Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Well, yeah, that's what happens in NFL. It goes over long
Well, that's
season.
golfer have a chance in that other league. So
Not JV because you missed the playoffs in that too. Did you use
Not
the Fantasy
JV.
Pro numbers in JV as well?
uh-huh.
Oh,
Jesus.
so 0 for 2. Yet
Well,
you're gonna be
I'm
right
with you
back
on
to
that
him next
trade.
year. Doesn't that sound a little insanity to go to the same thing over and over again and expect a different result? Maybe just try a different
It's better
site.
than my own logic.
You
Fusa,
think
if
so?
you wanna
Logic
wait-
would be-
Wow,
Fusa,
you're
if you wanna
selling
waste
yourself short.
$150, you know my PayPal.
You're selling yourself short. You don't trust yourself to pick a better team than this? Okay.
Fusa, are you
Not
saying
really,
you're a
no.
follower and not
You know
a
what?
leader?
You know what? This league is so bad for me because I always want to make a trade every day, and then I usually get myself caught in a pickle when I should have just stayed with
So
it.
you're saying you should do the Matt
Uh,
approach, barely
pulled
make any
me.
trades.
I traded
Yeah,
a lot.
probably.
Now
Okay.
I traded less.
All right, Pussy. Well, we'll get some more comments
See you
from
next
you
year.
here in a little bit on who you think's gonna win it all, who you're rooting for, and all that. But like I said, unlucky this season for you to fall
Can I
short.
at least get some credit for showing up here?
Yeah, I already gave you the credit. I
Okay,
started
good.
it off.
Credit.
Did you not hear
Thank you.
what I said when
But then-
before I
but
went
then
to you?
And then Rat said you didn't even realize the show was on today. You just wanted to play Fortnite.
Was that true?
Whoa!
Was that true, or you knew the show was today and you wanted to show up?
I knew the show was today.
Okay.
Jeez,
Well,
how
then
much
I
was
That
I
was
what?
sus,
keep
Cat.
I keep my credit that I gave you at the start. I said out of everybody in this party for the show, you're the only one that didn't make the playoffs, so I give you credit for being here because nobody else that missed the playoffs is here. So I gave you credit for that.
Technically, we could have two not making the playoffs in the party, but it's fine.
Okay. Well, we don't. All right, moving on to the next matchup. We had a battle. This was a big matchup for a potential playoff spot. However, both teams did not do what they needed to do. They needed to score some good amount of points to try to catch up on points for and hope that one of those 7-6 lose, which we got a few of them that lost. However, they didn't score nearly enough points to try to pass one of those people. So they both deserve to miss the playoffs because their teams did not perform in this final week when they needed to. Slaps, though, did pick up the win to finish at 7-7 ahead of Ernie, who fell to 6-8. Ernie tumbled all the way down from 6-8 all the way down the standings with the loss. So it not only did that hurt him with some bets probably, but Slaps got a big win to go 7-7. He was the only 7-7 team to not make the playoffs, so a little bit tough there for Slaps to fall just short one spot out. But the team did not score enough consistently high to get that points for that he needed to be the difference to get him in. So overall, disappointing season. Probably a good thing for Slaps that he didn't make the playoffs because Justin Herbert's now out the rest of the season. So it would have been tough for Slaps moving forward in the playoffs with the quarterback down. Overall, though, Slaps made it to the finals last year. Had another solid, decent season at 7-7 this year. Not too much to be ashamed. You would have liked to make the playoffs at 7-7, but he was the one that just fell short. On Ernie's side, a lot to discuss with Ernie. Obviously, we talked all season long, ever since he made the Justin Jefferson trade, of how much of a gamble it was. Was it going to pay off? It clearly did not pay off, as Jefferson did come back to this week to try to help him, and then he got hurt right away in the game and only finished with 4.7 points. So rough season for Ernie, finishing at 6-8. He made some trades this year that he already was the other day talking about him and regretting a couple of them. He was probably always going to do. He said he was always going to do the Justin Jefferson trade because it's his boy Justin Jefferson. The one he regretted was doing the Trevor Lawrence one, because as soon as he traded Lawrence away, those next couple weeks, Lawrence had huge games, and his quarterbacks with Dobbs and that were doing shit. So he's regretting that part of it, but he was always going to do the Justin Jefferson trade no matter what. But it did not work out clearly for Ernie this year, as he did not get any real production from Jefferson once he got him to try to help him get into the playoffs, and that's probably why he fell short. If he held on to the rest of the team that he had before, he might be in a better position now than what he was before. But overall, unlucky for Ernie. We'll see next year if he can just draft Justin Jefferson from the start. Maybe he doesn't have to worry about ever trading for him then. Anybody have any comments they'd like to make on either of these two teams' seasons, both just missing out on the playoffs? No? Hello?
Nope.
No,
No
nobody?
comment.
No comments. Wow, you
No
don't have any
comment.
comments on
Ernie
your
put up a
boy
good
Ernie
fight.
Rat?
He put up a good fight.
Oh, okay.
Buddy,
got bait.
79 points is a good
Yeah,
fight.
that ain't a good fight.
Yeah.
I
Ernie
mean,
got
they
baited
they had
by-
a chance to pass Zombie or Pook if they would have
I'll
had a
bring it
huge
home for
game,
him.
a huge week.
Ernie got baited by Jefferson this year.
Yeah, that definitely hurt him, no doubt.
I said it
But it was a
earlier in the year.
gamble, so.
He did it because it's Jefferson. He didn't do it to win fantasy.
Yeah, but that doesn't make a lot of sense.
Well, I don't know. It's him. That's what I said.
You're
earlier.
you're
I didn't
paying
like
just
the trade either.
$110
I
to just
never
have
liked the
Justin
trade.
Jefferson on your fantasy team,
No,
but then
I
not have
don't
a
know.
chance to win?
I didn't like the trade at all.
Okay. All right, moving on to the next matchup. We had another little surprise here. Zach pulling off an upset over Pook, 114-81. So Zach finishes the season on a little bit of a high note, beating
He
one of his
really
rivals,
avoided
Pook.
last
Unfortunately for Zach, Tyler, like we said, had that huge week to keep Zach in the cellar at 5-9.
night. Oh,
So rough for Zach that he got a big win at the end of the season, but did not get out of that bottom spot. Just too many losses down the stretch for Zach to overcome. So unlike Van Pook, though, at 7-7, did make it in, even though he only scored 81 points. So rough week for Pook. Like I said, if Ernie or Slaps would have had a much better week, or if Matt lost, then Ernie or Slaps could have got in. It was doable for them with how low some of these scores were. The problem was their own teams shit the bed as well. So Pook survives, gets in. We'll see now with the matchup versus Bill. It's going to be a decent close matchup, I think, when we look at it here in a few minutes. But another strong season for Pook, gets in the playoffs, and his title defense is on now. So Pook, your comments you'd like to make after this season, now that you're in the playoffs?
It was never in doubt.
Okay.
And I'm never trusting that bald bitch again.
Joshua Dobbs. Well, okay.
Yeah, fuck that guy. He can go rock.
So you started him because of the weather
Yes.
and the Jets defense? Okay.
Yeah.
All right. So we'll see the title defense, if the trophy will stay home or if it's going somewhere else. But Pook did make it, so he's going to be on that defense to try to hold on to it. And moving on to the final matchup of last week, we had Rat putting up a huge scoreline, defeating Zombie 163 to 121, set Zombie to 7-7, but still good enough for the playoffs with a decent amount of points scored this final week, so he was never really in any danger with that high points amount and seeing all these other teams not do good. But he did. That is another defeat for Zombie. What is that, like 5 in a row to end the season? So a rough stretch for Zombie down the stretch. Some of the games his team didn't perform, and then some of them, a couple of these past few weeks, he's scored a good amount of points, just has been unlucky to the teams he's been facing. So the team is still dangerous enough to make a run in the playoffs. And Zombie, this is what he lives for. This is his income. Get into the playoffs and then go all the way, win the title, and take home that $1,000. So he's done it once again. He's in the playoffs once again. There's something to be said, and credit needs to be given for consistency. And except last year, because Zombie didn't make it last year, but Pook and Zombie, every single season that I have been in this league, have been in the playoffs except last year with Zombie. So you got to give some credit to them too for the consistency. It's hard to make the playoffs in a league like this with how close it is, and they have done it every year, and then usually once they get in, one of them runs all the way to the end and wins it. So we'll see if one of them does it again this season. Rat, though, with the big win like he was hoping to gets that bye over Bill with Matt taking care of the work. So a very, very strong first season for Rat. As he got voted in this year as a replacement for Hunter, and some people may disagree or may not like what I'm about to say, but he is 1,000,000% a better member to have in this league than Hunter. He was active all the time. Not only in trades, but just in the chat, talking about matchups. He was at every fantasy show, and he put a strong team together this year that is definitely one of the favorites to win it all in the playoffs. With the bye also, has a good chance to start out with a strong playoff run. And, last year in JV was last place, dead last, and he definitely made up for it this season with a strong team to get the number 1 seed. To go from last place in JV to first in this league has to give you some credit, Rat. So your comments you'd like to make after defeating Zombie and getting that bye for this playoffs?
Zombie seems ass, so none of that. It wasn't really shocking.
Wow.
The only
Okay.
concern I have is Tyreek. I hope he rests up and gets healthy in those 2 weeks for my first matchup. And I put up all those points with my big boys not having a lot of points.
Okay.
Fontaine, Mahomes, Hill, Kelsey. But
Yeah.
everybody else on my team put up 20 plus.
Okay. Yeah, that's
Tyreek,
That's one thing about having a bye in fantasy football. Just because you have a bye doesn't mean your players have a bye. They will all be
That's
playing
true.
actual NFL games, so
Hopefully-
there's
hopefully
always
they
that
rest
risk of
them.
injury.
I have some stats.
So,
They should rest
okay,
him.
I
hold
have
on.
some buy. The last 2 years,
Yes.
if you had to buy, you lost in the
Yes.
second round.
That is correct. Yep. So it's
And-
not always a good thing, but
But in the third, like 3 years ago, you won. So not a good
But
percentage.
with the way Rat's team is assuming Tyreek Hill's okay to go moving forward, it's definitely a scary team. Only needing 2 wins to win it all instead of 3 is definitely a little bit of an advantage. And with Rat's
Yeah,
team,
but the Dolphins'
could be good.
schedule gets super fucking hard. So we'll see.
It's the
Okay.
Dolphins, and they're a good offensive team. So
No,
it
they're
doesn't matter.
mid.
Hey,
Okay.
Tyreek has put up 30 plus to anybody he's played this year. So why does
Yeah,
it matter?
because
who
they
he
haven't played
plays?
anybody good.
Well, okay, buddy.
I mean, they've played some good teams. They've lost, but I think Hill's still done good in most of those
Yeah.
games. But all right, so there's Cheese calling Rat's team mid. Which,
I also
if Cheese wins, you'll play Rat. So you
I
guys
guess
can battle it out as Cheese just
Yeah.
called your team mid. We'll see, possibly
And-
next week
yeah,
or 2 weeks.
hopefully I want to play cheese, but
Okay.
yeah, we'll see how
Alright.
it goes.
Uh,
Cheese, stop talking shit.
Yeah, Cheese has had a
Shit
lot of
might-
comments today. He's
shit might
feeling
come.
himself. He's
Shit
feeling
might
himself
come.
before these playoffs, and we'll
I'm just
see.
feeling cautiously optimistic.
Well, some of your comments you've made today have
Nobody
not
got
been
optimistic about your
cautiously
team.
optimistic. They have been pretty strong comments earlier about some people's teams. So it's a little bit dangerous to be talking about other people's teams like that. But
Okay.
but go ahead, because if it backfires in your face, we just will get to bring it up. which will be good. Zombie, we gave you that. I gave you that credit there. Anything you'd like to say? You know, you've lost 5 straight regular season games, but you made it in. Obviously, everyone's gonna give you an asterisk for making the playoffs this year because you should be 5 and
Facts.
9.
Big
But
facts.
you played with the rules that were in front of you, and you're 7 and 7. So what do you have to say? Are you feeling good about your team going into the playoffs? Is I guess my question because you've lost 5 straight regular season games.
Yeah, I feel good. This is where my team goes off usually.
Okay.
And
Yeah.
it ain't gonna be no different this year. Fake
Okay.
Red's a little bitch.
Oh. Okay.
Zach, Zombie should have finished in 11th place. Mickey Mouse 2 wins from Commissioner Error.
Okay.
Yeah, that is true.
All right. Well, the thing about the playoffs is it's 1 week at a time. You win or you go home. So Zombie got in, even if it was the error. If his team performs and outperforms the other teams he's facing, he could win it all.
Wait, hold on.
Yes.
Who would have got in without the air?
Well,
Slaps.
it would have been
Slaps.
Slaps because the 2 extra wins would have been me and Pook, and we already made
Yeah.
the playoffs. So yeah, it would have been Slaps at 7 and 7. So.
Yeah, Booster
I'm
does-
surprised he hasn't gone on a little rant in the. He must not remember. He must not
Remember
be
when
thinking.
Slaps didn't want to vote for it? 'Cause Pook-
Yeah, he did not vote for it. Yes, he voted
To
to
change
keep it
it.
the way it was. Yeah. So, but I guarantee you, if somebody tells him about that and points that out to him, he will have a little rant in the chat about all that, which he
Probably
can't.
asleep. I'll
He
do it
can't.
tomorrow.
He can't really have a rant about it. He's going to, but he can't really because he voted to keep it the way it was. So, which I think was the right way. He just got unlucky that he was the one that took the beat on it. But all right, so Zombie feeling confident going into the playoffs. We'll see what happens if he can get himself another title. So, like I said, wrapping up the standings now after the regular season is now complete. As we said, Rat has the bye in the first spot. Bill in the second fall to the second spot at 9 and 5 as well. So 2 9 and 5 teams this year were the top records. Matt was the only 8 and 6 team, one game behind. Then the whole slew of 7 and 7s. Myself, Cheese, Zombie, Pook in the final 7th spot on points for difference, and Slaps misses out of the playoffs by about 34 points. He misses out on points for by that much. So that's how tight the season was. Then we had Tyler finishing in 9th, as I said, with that strong win at 6 and 8. Ernie in 10th at 6 and 8, below Tyler, after Ernie was talking shit the other day to Tyler. Pussy at 6 and 8 and 11th, and then Zach at 5 and 9 in that last place. We will see when the time comes here after the season is complete. Zach will have the have to make the tough decision on if he wants to do the punishment challenge or take the buyout and have to pay a big $200 to all the people that beat him this year, the 9 people that beat him this year. We will see. Pook cost himself a little bit of money. Wait, did you say you lost to him the first time, Pook?
Yeah, I'm on.
Ooh, so you cost yourself a lot of money with this final loss this past
Unlucky.
week to Zach. Unlucky.
I
I
don't
lost to
think
Zach
can
as
take
well.
that.
I lost to Zach as well, so I won't be getting any of that,
With
unfortunately.
the mid-season
But
predictions?
yes, we're gonna get to that in a second. Real quickly, Pook, I guess wants to bring up some.
Let's
You
start
know,
from the
we all
bottom.
know how Pook is. He'll get
Let's
those
start
screenshots
from
during the
the
season.
bottom up.
So we're not starting at the bottom. We're starting in the order you sent me them. So this is, I
Okay,
guess,
fine.
Ernie.
We'll go with Ernie. This is all the times Ernie was shit talking me during the season.
He compiled
And
them all.
And as I said in the first week, him beating me was his championship,
Ooh.
and that proved true as he is not competing for the real one come December.
Yeah,
Unlucky,
you're
Ernie.
not making the playoffs. That's all I know. Oof, ouch. I believe you are 1 and 4.
I think he was talking about himself, but
Oh.
I'm not.
I believe you are 1 and 4 and out of the playoffs. Hashtag lock it down. Oh, well, the only person locked down now is Ernie, not Pook.
Yikes.
Ooh, all right.
Unlucky.
And then your second one, you're taking a shot at
Zach. This is from Pusa here. Pusa was very correct in his prediction. After Zach was shit-talking Pusa, Pusa then said, how long until he goes back to his little hole? And I don't think we've heard from Zach since.
Okay. He was on one show about 4 weeks ago, but
Pusa, any comments on that?
I wish Zach the best of luck in Las Vegas.
A few hours ago, he
And-
said after 2 hours he was not looking good. So, all right, moving on to the next one.
This is Tyler. He said he was very happy with his team. I guess he is also happy with his team on the beach because he is not making any deep playoff run this year.
Yeah, well,
Unlucky, Tyler.
he was sounding a lot more optimistic in the party last night. I think that big final week and jumping all the way up out of to like 9th place, I think he's counting that as a win to get all the way up to 9th place. I don't understand it, but you know Tyler. All right, and then back to Ernie.
This is when Ernie was correct. He said Slaps was not making the playoffs. He, in fact, did not make the playoffs.
Okay.
Unlucky.
All right, but did finish ahead of Ernie. Slaps did.
And then I'm going to send you one more for the playoff bracket. Not now.
Okay. All right. So having the playoffs now set real quickly to look at the bracket. Obviously, Rat in the top half of the bracket with the bye this week into the semifinal. Me versus Cheese is the next matchup. The winner of that matchup will play Rat coming off that bye in the second round. So big matchup there. Then the bottom half of the bracket, Bill as the 2 seed facing the 7 seed Pook. And then Matt as the 3 seed facing the 6 seed Zombie. So some very interesting matchups in that bottom half of the bracket. It's really, in my opinion, anybody's game in that bottom half of the bracket. I would say I would give 3 of the 4 teams a really good chance. I don't know so much about Matt's team, but he got a big win this past week to get off the schneid and get into the playoffs, and anything can happen from there. But that bottom half will be very interesting to see who comes out of that side of the bracket. Obviously, Rat's going to be the favorite in the top half of the bracket, but you never know what can happen once you get into these playoffs. That is the playoffs. Real quickly, looking like you wanted the playoff predictions. I don't believe anybody got all 7 teams, unfortunately. There was some, though, very close. This was Rats, and Rat had, let's see, himself as the top spot, so that was right. He had Zombie in there, which he made it but was not second. Matt in there, Bill in there, myself in there. The only one that he got wrong was he put Cheese. Maybe just a little bit of hatred bias there. He put Cheese all the way down in 11th place, and he had, of course, his boy Ernie. No surprise there, making it. So it's only fitting that Rat's boy Ernie cost him getting all the playoff teams correct. Rat, your comments?
Yeah, back then I thought Cheese was just in a absolutely down spiral, and all of a sudden he's back. But
His
somehow he
Cowboys
didn't
came
get
alive.
there.
You didn't give the Cowboys enough credit.
Yeah.
All
I
right.
don't know, this team just came out of nowhere.
Yeah, looking at Cheese. Cheese also had Ernie in the playoffs,
Oh.
so that did not help him. He got all the
Fuck
other
you,
teams
Cheese.
correct,
You little
but he
fucking
left
bitch.
Pukin out at 8th and had Ernie in. So if he just flips them, he would have got all 7 teams correct. Cheese, a little
Matt
bit
at 11 and
unlucky
3 is
there.
Crazy.
Yeah, that
I mean,
that
he
record's
was 6
great.
and 1.
Yeah, and
Yeah,
then he
but
went on a
his team
down
was
tour.
the
Caught it-
lowest
you caught
points
it
for.
forever.
Okay.
Cheese, any comment you'd like to make on being so close, but yet so far because Ernie screwed you?
I'm not mad.
Okay. All right. Then we had Zombies picks. Obviously, he had himself as the top seed, but he got in. Had Matt in, had Rat in, had Bill in, had myself in, had Pook in. It was Tyler that screwed Zombie. So 1 short once again. He had Cheese all the way down in 11th again.
Yeah,
So
fuck you
Tyler was
guys.
the one that cost Zombie. Zombie,
Fuck
any
you,
comment
Cheese.
you like to make on picking
Can't hear you
Tyler
down there,
over
buddy.
Cheese?
Well, I thought Tyler had a good team, but he never was. Every week he never.
He
scored
started the
a lot of
wrong
points.
players. He did start the wrong players every week.
Well,
Buddy, you had Cheese at 4 and 10. What's your explanation for that?
Yeah, I was 3 and 4. You thought I'd go
That was
1 and
before
6?
Cheese made the trades.
Okay,
What
you thought
trade?
I was going 1 and 6?
That was before you
to
traded you
Gibbs.
for Gibbs.
Oh, yeah.
No, I gave him Gibbs before that.
No.
Yeah, because I had Saquon for week 7. Because
Okay,
Gibbs was hurt week 7.
It don't matter. All right, then we had Pussies here. He had Rat as the top spot, so he got that right. Matt, Zombie, myself, Bill. Unfortunately, though, he put Slaps, who just missed out, but was 7 and 7, and then of course himself in. and left left Pook and Cheese out at 10 and 11. So was 2 wrong. Everybody else was 1 wrong, but he was 2 wrong. Pussy comments. Obviously, you were always going to put yourself in, so I guess you were doomed from the start.
Sad.
Yeah.
Why the fuck would he put
Sad.
Slaps in?
Yeah. I'm a little surprised. You always shit on Slaps' knowledge in fantasy, yet you had him in this.
Well, if you go back, I said I couldn't believe that I'm doing this.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Did the Fantasy Pro numbers tell you to do that?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, well then there we have it. That's why it's wrong. All right, and then myself, I had Rat in the top spot, Zombie, then I had Ernie all the way up at 3rd, so Ernie cost me as well, as I had myself, Matt, Bill, and Pook, so I had everything else right. I just did not have Cheese in, and I had Ernie in instead. So
all of you not have me
we
in?
all, yeah, we all had.
No, I think Rat
Fuck
had
you.
me
Jeez,
out.
nobody gives a fuck about you.
So
Funny.
the
I
Ernie
didn't
pick
make
was the big
Yeah, that's what I'm
consensus
saying.
one
You
to
didn't make
fuck
the
a
playoffs,
lot of
don't
people.
talk.
So, which at the time Ernie
Damn.
was 4-3, so that's kind of why probably a lot of people thought he would still get in, and he didn't. So unlucky
Fuck you, Cheese.
on the predictions for
I
that.
do.
Okay, now let's look ahead to the 3 playoff matchups here. Sleeper does not have the whole matchup thing updated yet until tonight, so we are going to do a makeshift screenshots of people's lineups put together with their projections. All right, so looking at the first playoff matchup of the 2 versus the 7 seed, Bill at 2 versus Pook at the 7. Right now, Bill projected to win 117 to about 111. Obviously, there's some question marks on Pook's team with Stroud, how hurt he is. But Bill has Josh Allen going against the Cowboys. David Montgomery going against Denver.
Restart in fucking an hour.
Kamara going against the Giants. Keenan Allen, assuming he plays on Thursday night though, so quick turnaround against the Raiders, but no Justin Herbert. So we'll see how that affects Keenan Allen. Kind of a big blow there for Bill's team, assuming it hurts Allen. Pittman against Pittsburgh. Kincaid in against Dallas. Waddle in against the Jets. Sanders against the Jets, and Baltimore's defense against, I believe they play Jacksonville. So some interesting matchups, a few places, some banged up guys. We'll see what happens with all those. On Pook's side, he has Stroud, assuming he plays against Tennessee. Bijan Robinson against Carolina. Barkley after his big game against New Orleans now. Olave against the Giants. Mike Evans against Green Bay. Schultz against Tennessee. Tyler Lockett in the flex on Monday night against Philly. And Matt Gay against Pittsburgh. And the Miami Dolphins. Who did the Dolphins play this week?
The Jets.
The Jets. So pretty decent matchup there for the Dolphins defense. Obviously, I'm assuming Stroud's going to play. If he doesn't, then obviously that hurts quite a bit in this playoff matchup. I really don't like the trend Bill's team is on. So I am going to take Pook to get the win over the 2 seed Bill. Unfortunately for timing for Bill, I just don't think it's right with all these injuries. And I think Pook's team, even though it struggled this past week, I think his team will bounce back this upcoming week with some better matchups from some of his wide receivers. And I think he'll get the job done in a close matchup, though. I think this will be, I'm going to say this will be the closest matchup of the 3 playoff matchups this week. But I think Pook will edge him out just barely, and another heartbreaking playoff loss for Bill against Pook. As we all know, last year was that close one, really close one. But I think that's what will happen. Cheese, who's winning this first playoff matchup?
Let's see. I mean, I've been on Team Bill all year, but
Yeah, so have I. But
the
now I had to jump
injuries-
off.
The injuries might be too much with Waddle. Keenan's got a Easton stick. He's got a hockey stick throwing to him. Kind of weird.
So are you taking Pook, or are you going to stick with Bill?
I think I got to stick with Bill just because of the strength of Kamara.
Okay.
And Josh Allen and Pittman are all very solid every week. So I
Okay.
feel like that consistency will help him win.
He also doesn't have Nico Collins, so he has to start Jalen Waddle against the Jets secondary. Ain't the best. But
I still think Bill.
you still think he pulls it out?
Pook's team, sorry, Pook. It's the bottom half that's not inspiring any confidence. Tyler Lockett and Dalton
Okay.
Schultz.
All right, interesting.
And Bijan is always a risk to do literally nothing. So
Okay. All
his
right.
coach decides to hit him that week.
All right. Interesting comments there. Rat, who's winning this playoff matchup?
I know that Pook and Bill, when they play, everybody said that Bill just can't seem to be Pook. But
Yes.
I think this year is the time that Bill
Mm.
brings
Okay.
the net. This is like, I mean, unlucky for Bill, like you said, the timing, but I do think he's able to pull out another win. Even though
Okay.
Keenan Allen only might put up like his lesser points that he used to put up, I think Bill's team has one more week in him at least to keep him hanging in there.
Okay.
So, I'm picking
So
Bill.
it's an interesting matchup too because both teams scored a low amount of points this past week. So we'll
Yeah.
see which team bounces back big. All right. Zombie, who's winning?
Fuck. It doesn't matter who wins this. I will beat either of them.
Okay. All right. Well, who you clearly want Pook to win, right? So you get your normal playoff matchup versus Pook, where that you seem to win most of the time.
Yeah, I would love to face Pook again,
Okay.
but I don't think he's gonna put
Pull it
up
off.
the points he needs to win this week.
Okay. Interesting. Man, most people
We'll
are on
take
Bill, except me so far. All right. Pussy, who do you think's winning this playoff matchup?
Fuck Pook. So
Wow.
I'll be picking Bill.
What the fuck
Oh
is
my
wrong
God.
with you?
Wow.
I never said fuck him.
Damn.
Sure.
Where's that hatred coming
Pook's an overrated fantasy player, and it's gonna show this week.
Now hold on.
Okay.
Wait. I just gave him all that credit earlier about consistency, how he's always in the playoffs. He just won the whole thing last year, and you're calling him an overrated fantasy. Why is he an overrated fantasy player?
You'll see this week.
Well,
Pusa,
hold on.
Pusa, how many-
He could lose this week, and it doesn't make him an overrated fantasy player. He has the championship. He had the championship last year, and he's made the playoffs like every year.
See,
He
this
could
is
lose
why I
one.
cannot wait all this time until I get to.
Pusa, I have
Pussy.
5 straight finals. When's the last time you've been to the finals?
Before I was in the league.
Back when
Yeah,
Crosby was
when
in
he
the
won
league?
it, when he won it, but I wasn't there in the league, so I don't know how many people were in the league to witness him win it. But
I don't even remember
what
him
Pussy?
winning
When
it.
you won the league, were you using your Fantasy Pro numbers?
No, I was not.
Oh, so just another reason maybe you should dump these numbers, but yet you still won't. Okay. All right, interesting. Okay, and Pook, everybody seemed to be picking Bill there except me.
Pull up the screenshot I just sent you on Twitter. Pull it up.
Where?
That was in October. I projected myself to finish 7-7. I said it was good enough for a playoff spot. I said I was never going to lose to Pusa, and I said I'm getting Bill round 1 and I'm going to beat his ass. I am taking Bill down, and Bill's going to go into depression again, knowing that
okay.
every year all he does is lose to me in the playoffs when it matters the most.
Okay. Strong words there. All right,
And fuck you, Pusa.
All right. Can't really debate much of that. I still can't believe Pussy just called you overrated fantasy. That doesn't.
You know what Pusa needs a reality shock in fantasy. He needs a season so bad
That he finishes
he-
last place.
He just needs
Wow.
something to go terribly wrong, and maybe he can become a winner like me.
Well,
This is a reality check. pal.
If he finished in last place, that would be a reality check. And if he keeps using those numbers, he's on trend to finish last place one of these seasons. He was only a game ahead this year. So, all right, moving on to the second playoff matchup of the this is the 4 versus 5 seed in the top half of the bracket to see who plays Rat on the bye. Myself versus Cheese in a rematch of last week. So back-to-back weeks of playing each other to end this year off. Obviously, Cheese a heavy favorite at the moment, according to Sleeper, 123 to 107. Cheese has his Cowboys hot stack. Dak Prescott against Buffalo. Should be a good, entertaining game there. I would think some decent amount of points. I mean, there's really no reason to think the Cowboys are going to cool off. For my sake, I hope they do somehow. Let's get a big Tony Pollard game somehow with like all the touchdowns, rushing them in. Kyron Williams against Washington, also a very good matchup, and Kyron Williams has been on fire. Jahmyr Gibbs on Saturday against my Broncos. Also a very good matchup. We'll see. Hopefully it's just a Montgomery game for Bill's sake. CeeDee Lamb, as we already said, against Buffalo. Puka Nacua, who's been coming on a little bit against Washington as well. So that Rams stack versus Washington should be pretty good. Evan Ingram, who killed me last week for 32 points. This week on Sunday night against Baltimore. Dear God, if he gets 32 again against Baltimore, at least this time I'll have Lawrence in there to get some of the points off. Cortland Sutton in the flex against the Detroit defense should be pretty decent as well. Group A, the kicker, who didn't do much last week, but we'll see if he bounces back. And the Falcons defense, who is the Falcons playing? Does anybody know?
Carolina Panthers.
Carolina. Oh, that's a
Also,
great
waivers
matchup
have
as
not
well.
gone through, so I can't pick up different kicker at the moment.
Okay. All right.
So,
Okay, so overall, very good matchups. No wonder they have you for 123. Very good. On my side, Lawrence against Baltimore. Coming off that injury, he didn't look as bad as I thought he would last week, but Baltimore is a very good defense. Hopefully, though, Baltimore did get torched a little last week by the Rams, so maybe Lawrence can do something. I'm just praying somehow, some way, because there's no way I can start Jordan Love again after what I saw this past week. Jacobs on Thursday, quick turnaround against the Chargers is a good matchup. The question is he going to play? I don't know. We'll see. He hasn't practiced yet. I'm praying to the fantasy gods somehow he plays. Kenneth Walker on Monday night against the Eagles. Not the best, but the Eagles have been getting a little torch. Maybe he can get some touchdowns. Ridley against Baltimore as well. Not the best. Just hoping and praying to the gods somehow it's a high-scoring game between Baltimore and Jacksonville. Big game for Jacksonville. They need to win. Metcalf on Monday night as well against Philly, assuming he's not suspended, which I would have thought we would have heard something on that. So maybe he pops off after trying to roll over somebody and get in their face and almost fight somebody on the field. Hawkinson on Sunday against Cincinnati. Devontae Smith on Monday night against Seattle. May the Devontae Smith games continue because I need the help with that. Elliott on Monday night as well. So I have a lot of Monday night players. I have a Thursday night player, and I have a Sunday night player. I barely have any Sunday during the day. So obviously, if this matchup is close, it's probably going to come down to Monday night. In Cleveland's defense against Chicago, obviously Justin Fields has been hot, but at home with Cleveland, their defense keeps them in the games with Flacco, so I'm just hoping maybe Fields throws a couple picks, which he can do sometimes. Obviously, I am a big underdog, obviously by sleeper, and I would agree that I'm a big underdog. My team is not projecting the right way with some injuries the past couple weeks, with Lawrence getting banged up a couple weeks ago, with now Jacobs getting banged up. Not projecting the best way. So I'm going to need a prayer to the fantasy gods that somehow on Monday Night Football things go my way and I pull off a stunner over Cheese. Cheese is feeling very confident about his team with his good matchups. He should. So hopefully the fantasy gods say, you know what? You're feeling so great about your matchups and your team. Let's throw a bunch of surprising duds out there by a bunch of your players that you think should go off, and hopefully I win like a ugly one, like 100 to 90 or something like that. So that's what I'm hoping for, and hopefully the fantasy gods will answer my prayers. This is also the third game of the season between me and Cheese, and we're 1-1, so this is the rubber match for all the marbles and the advance in the playoffs. Rat, who's winning this matchup?
Oof. Well, there's some reasons I want to play both you. Golf, you're 2-0 versus me in the regular season, and I want to end that, so I wouldn't mind playing you.
Okay.
I want to play Cheese because he's talked shit since week 1. So ending his season would be great too.
Yeah.
Who do I think will win?
Yep.
Man, I think Cheese does have a good team, a better team this year, and I'm gonna pick Cheese, but I'll stop it if anything. If you lose, I'll just beat him anyway. So, see Cheese next week.
Well, I wouldn't mind Cheese winning at all if he does beat me. So, but okay, fair enough.
I think I'll see Cheese next week.
Okay. All right. Pook, who's winning?
I think whoever wins this one will go on and upset Rat.
Wow. Okay. Big prediction there. Okay.
I think, however, to prove myself right, I want Golfer to win and see Jahmyr Gibbs and Puka Nacua shit the bed.
All right. I can get behind that this week. All right.
However, I play Montgomery, so I kind of need Gibbs to not shit the bed.
Yeah. Well, maybe they both just
tough.
They can both shit the bed.
That's true.
Maybe it's just a passing day for the Lions. All right. Pussy, who's winning this matchup?
They passed to Gibbs too.
I really hoped you do win, golfer, but you're not.
Oh, thank you. Okay, thank you.
Jesus.
I hope I win too, but okay. Zombie, who's winning this matchup?
I am gonna go with
My
not
boy.
cheese.
What'd you say?
Not cheese.
Not cheese?
Not
Okay.
cheese.
So
That
that would
doesn't
be
inspire a lot of confidence in golfer.
Okay. Hey, I'll take the anybody but cheers, but cheese. I'll take them. So, all right, cheese. Go ahead. You know what? I'm not even going to ask a question. Just you can have the
Have the
floor.
time
I know you
segment.
got so much positivity and optimism and
Look,
things you
look,
want to say. So
look,
just
look.
let them all out there. Just say everything.
Look.
Talk shit to
Look,
everything.
GG golfer. You
Okay. Okay.
I know. I mean, I have. Look, I feel good. I got the good matchups.
Mhm.
You know, it would take a lot of players shitting the bed for me to not put up at least a decent score, I feel.
Mhm.
I think the lowest Dak's gone like the past forever is like at least 17. So he's been very solid.
Mhm.
You know, CD's his boy. The Rams boys just get fed points even if they lose.
Yep.
Cortland Sutton makes a random 80-yard touchdown catch every week. Ingram's been popping off. I got the good defense going. I just feel good because I golfer, you know, you get a lot of injuries, not really good matchups, not good quarterbacks throwing to your players. I feel like there's a lot of upside for me to win even if I don't score that
Okay.
much. So I feel positive.
All right. All right, we will see what happens. Like I said, for the rubber match for the season and a big one. All right, moving on to the final playoff matchup of the week. We have the 3 seed Matt versus the 6 seed Zombie to see who moves on to play the winner of Pook versus Bill. At the moment, Sleeper projecting Zombie to win 114 to 109. Matt has Justin Fields against that Cleveland defense. On Sunday, Najee Harris in there against the Colts. Alexander Madison, who's his other running back? Pacheco, yeah. So if Pacheco doesn't play, I'll go with Madison. Devontae Adams on Thursday night to get him started against the Chargers. Could be pretty decent as the Chargers, I think, are just in self-destruct, lose every game mode. Diggs against Dallas. And Njoku, after his huge game last week, in there against Chicago this week. Joe Flacco seemed to like Njoku. Rasheen Rice in there against New England at the moment. We all know Matt doesn't set his lineups all the time, so he does have choices between T. Higgins and Thielen as well. So we'll see if he sticks with Rasheen Rice against New England, who New England always likes to try to muck up the games. Harrison Butker against New England as well, and the Vikings defense at the moment. Who are the Vikings playing? Bengals, yeah. And I mean that quarterback Browning's been hot, so we'll see if he changes his defense. I'm assuming he might. You know, Matt's lineup's never set until towards the end. On Zombie's side, he's got his Eagles stack on Monday night against Seattle. Seattle's defense is not very good, so that should be a good matchup for the Eagles. They need to desperately get back on track after getting blown out in back-to-back games. I expect some big games from most of the Eagles. Jaylen Warren in there, so it's the Najee Harris versus Jaylen Warren matchup. It's, you know, I don't know if the matchup's going to come down to whichever Steeler running back does better, but they got one on each side, so whoever gets the points could be a big difference. Swift as well against Seattle, A.J. Brown. Deebo Samuel in there against Arizona, pretty good matchup there. Gerald Everett in against the Raiders. Zombie, who was your tight end before this? Did you have a tight end?
Taysom.
Oh, Taysom Hill. Okay. Cooper Kupp, after his nice game last week against Washington, could be a good matchup. We'll see. Hopefully Kupp gets all the catches and not Puka Nacua. Young Ho Kim against Carolina and the Houston defense.
Young Ho Kim.
Or
He
Young
just-
Ho
he just-
Koo, sorry.
He just
Same
dropped Koo
thing.
anyways.
Oh, he
doesn't have a
did?
kicker.
A little
Okay,
bit of
so
it will change.
you're changing
Young
your
Ho
kicker.
Kim.
Whatever. Kim, Koo, Pussy. They're all the same. The Texans, who are the Texans playing?
Tennessee.
Tennessee.
So-
Okay. So Houston's defense against Tennessee. Um, I'm gonna pick Zombie. I think his team's better. I like a lot of his matchups. I think his Eagles stack. I think this is final of the week. It's all set up perfect for the Eagles. They've gotten blown out and embarrassed the last 2 weeks. Seattle is just giving up way too many points. I think this is the get right game for the Eagles, especially on Monday Night Football. I think Hurts has a huge game. I think at least AJ Brown or Swift have a huge game, if not all three of them. I think Debo has a very good matchup. I think Cooper Kupp has a very good matchup. They both had good games the last couple weeks. So I think all that's trending in the right direction for Zombie to get a pretty decent win here against Matt's team. Matt, I don't know what's going on with the running backs with Pacheco. If Pacheco's back, then obviously that helps him a bit. But if he's not back, I don't like the Madison, and I don't really care for Najee Harris either. Fields has been doing good, but he's playing a little stuffer defense this week. And then which flex wide receiver does Matt play? Does he play Rice? Does he play Thielen? Does he play Higgins? Obviously, he's going to play Adams and Diggs. But is those wide receivers enough to overcome Zombie's team? I don't think so. So that's why I'm going to take Zombie. Obviously, he got enough last week to win, but he didn't put up a big score. He hasn't put up a big score in a while. Why he lost a bunch of games towards the end of the season. Where Zombie's team, I think, is going to be a lot more consistent and score a good amount of points and get this victory and move on to the next round. All right. But geez, who's winning this matchup?
Sadly, very sadly,
Yeah.
just like the Mickey Mouse NBA Cup, just like the Mickey Mouse NBA Championship.
The in-season tournament as well.
Yep, Zombie's getting a Mickey Mouse victory.
Who
He's gonna
would
be
have thought
popping
being the sixth
champagne.
seed would have been?
Yep, he's gonna
This
be
guy.
popping champagne like LeBron the other night.
Okay.
Sadly, Matt's team, Diggs disappointed last playoffs, every playoffs.
Mm.
Devontae Adams has anybody seen him? His running backs has anybody seen them?
Mm.
The only players I really like, Njoku and Rice could be decent. Fields,
If
obviously.
he plays Rice, he's got two other options on the bench as well.
I just feel like Matt has been scoring like a solid 100,
Yeah.
so Zombie doesn't need that much more to actually win. But
Mhm.
even if his Eagles boys disappoint like they have in the last couple weeks, and Cooper Kupp he'll still probably get like 110. So
Okay.
Matt really needs his players to step up, or it's not going to go well. But I'm
Mhm.
picking Zombie in a low-scoring affair.
Ooh. Okay. Low scoring, really. All right.
Yes.
Interesting. Rat. Who's winning?
Man, this is my favorite matchup of the week because this is a title for the people in need of money. So like they're playing for huge stakes right now. You know,
That is true.
Man
That is true.
needs money. Zombie's income has been fantasy football.
Well, I mean, if you talk to
and-
Matt now, he says he's making way more than Pussy
yeah,
ever
sorry.
makes. So
Matt's
maybe he
rich right
doesn't
now.
need money.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Matt doesn't need money anymore.
Until you get another DM saying his card is declined.
Like G said, I can't believe we have to watch it happen, but Zombie advances for one more week.
Okay.
And it hurts to see, but yeah, Matt's running backs are just gonna let
I
him
do
down.
want to say that I missed the winner of the other matchup, which is Bill Pook, will be going to the finals.
Okay. So whoever wins between Bill and Pook is taking care of business then the following week.
I will decide that next week, but right now,
Okay.
yeah, Matt's team.
Is there a
let him
show next
down.
week? Normally we don't have shows until.
Yeah, normally we just do this one and then we let it play out and then
Yeah,
we'll
Well,
see. We'll see how we're feeling
but-
next week.
the people that need money, so we'll see how it plays out. Because
We'll definitely do one more. We'll either do it next week or we'll wait until the finals. We'll see. Okay. Pook, who's winning this matchup to face you?
I supported this person throughout a very rough time in his life,
Mm.
and the best thing he can do to repay me, other than actually repaying me, is by eliminating the fraud who's only here because of administrator error. I'm picking Matt Thomas to beat Zombie and to make more than Zombie's annual income this week on bets.
Wow. Well, he would just have to win one bet then. Okay. Interesting. Pussy, who's winning this matchup? Battle of needs money.
Zombie, I am trusting you with the task. Please deliver. I will be picking Zombie.
Okay. I will second guess, or I will second that from Pussy Zombie. Please get the job done because I am tired. You know what's gonna happen if Matt wins? He's gonna put the
He
GIF in that
sent
he
the bet
always
slip.
the Trey. Well, he's gonna put his bet slips in, but then he's gonna put that Trey Young GIF in that he does every
And then
week he
no,
wins.
he's gonna put the Kelsey one too.
Yeah, and the
the
Kelsey one.
zombie.
Look,
Yeah.
if,
Yo,
if
yo,
Matt,
yo, I
yeah.
touched your
if
mom.
Matt wins, he'll be super toxic. Pook gets a free shot.
At the
If
final.
Zombie
Yeah.
wins,
Okay.
it'll be more competitive.
Okay.
And Matt will also be super toxic. And then Zombie will be super toxic. And then Zombie will get called unemployed a lot.
Really? You think
and
if
it'll be
Matt
funnier.
loses, he's gonna be super toxic? I
Oh,
don't
no,
think you'll
actually,
hear a
Matt,
word
Matt,
from him.
Matt might disappear to a
Yeah,
hole.
I don't think
So
you're gonna
that-
hear a single word from him. If he may still put the Travis Kelsey gif in because he's
Look,
talking to Zach and Pussy about when
Zombie's
he puts
gonna
that.
win, but we can't let him get away with commissioner error.
Golfer,
Free
check your
wins.
DMs really quick. So 1 sec. I'm sending it in
Whoa!
2 seconds.
Okay.
This
alright.
this is the income of both of these players, and this is what
Whoa!
they're. This is what they need. This is how they're living right now, and they need to win.
Yeah, they need this fantasy championship, huh? Well,
Yep.
listen, if I have to send the $1,000 to Zombie, I won't mind it because I've done that before, and I know it helps him for the rest of the season or the rest of the year. If I gotta send it to Matt, it's gonna hurt a little more just because I know where it's all going. It's all going to things like strippers and bottle service and all that type of stuff that he probably can't even afford, but he's gonna be able to afford because of the $1,000. But I'm not too worried about Matt's team winning 3 straight weeks, especially on the downtrend that his team's been on the second half of the year. But all right, let's see here. Zombie, you taking care of business this week? I'm assuming.
Yeah, my boy Matt doesn't have stand a chance.
Ooh, okay.
All his players are very, very boomer bust,
Mm-hmm.
and they usually bust.
Yeah, second half of the year they definitely have been. Okay. And your
The-
Eagles boys are gonna get the job done this week for once?
These fucking garbage ass fucking green shits don't fucking get at least 60 points combined.
Cry,
I
Eagles
will-
cry. That's the new saying
I
I've
will
been
never
hearing.
draft them again. These guys are so fraud.
Good.
You
We
didn't
don't
draft
want you.
him.
We don't
You didn't
want
draft
you
him.
to have them.
Yeah, you technically didn't draft. You traded for them.
I
Yeah, I
hope,
mean, I won't draft them next year.
Buddy,
I
ever
hope there's
since-
3 touchdowns by Gainwell and 2 touchdowns to
Ever
Devontae
since-
Smith.
ever
I'll
since-
take that.
Ever since Zombie got the
And a
Eagles
touchdown to
boys,
Goddard.
the Eagles have been going downhill.
That's a fact. Fuck you, zombie. Pussy ass
Not a
bitch.
fact. You guys just can't
Whoa.
beat good teams because you're fucking.
You
garbage.
can't beat any teams.
When
You
the
wanna know a
Eagles,
fact?
when the Eagles lose
Fuck
twice
you.
to Tommy DeVito, that's gonna be
I have a
Zombie's fault.
fact.
Jesus,
If Matt
jeez.
beats Zombie somehow,
Let me have
he
something.
will come back with the excuses that Matt got lucky, and we'll
Facts.
see what happens.
Facts.
I mean, that's zombies.
Whenever zombie loses, it's all luck. Whenever he wins, it's all skill.
It's an interesting matchup though, because these two teams are been the
These
two
are
teams at the end of
winning.
the season that have been losing the most. I mean, Zombies lost 5 straight. Matt until last week had lost like I think 5 or 6 straight or
The
something.
winner should get a
So-
job. The
Oh,
loser should get a job.
well, Matt.
Oh, Pusa paid on.
Yeah, you love to
the
see
streak.
paying slaps entry. You love to see that.
I just want to state that Matt over here has scored over 110 points only twice
hmm
since week 7.
That's what I'm saying. It's a battle
Okay,
of
but
teams
he's
that have
in-
lost
he's
a
in
lot.
the-
But he
All
got to
about
win
what-
when he needed it most.
all-
It doesn't matter what you did
Yeah.
before. It matters what
Yeah,
you do now.
All I'm
it's all
saying
moving
is-
forward now. If Matt's
Theoretically,
team scores
all- all
120
in-
plus the next 3 weeks, he's got a good chance he makes it all the way.
Theoretically, as long as he's an average week and he advances, so it's going to be really embarrassing if he loses.
Yeah, a little bit of pressure there. He's definitely the favorite being the 6th seed, which normally isn't the case. But all right, so that is the 3 playoff matchups this week. We will see what happens before we finish the show off. Obviously, we got to do a prediction. Who is going to be the finals and who is going to win the whole thing? I'll start. I'm going
Should
to.
we do?
What?
Should we do it without including ourselves? Or
Yeah,
with
we should do it without including ourselves.
Well, no, you can include yourself if you really want to, but I mean, if you truly absolutely believe you're going to win the whole thing, then put yourself in it. I mean, if you're in it, you're in it. However, I'm not in denial. I know my team is going a little downhill. Maybe I can somehow pull off the win against Cheese, but then I think Rat will probably get the better of me. I'm going to say Rat is in the finals, and I'm going to say he is facing Pook's team. And so I think it's going to be a Rat versus Pook final. And I'm going to deny Pook the back-to-back. I'm going to say Rat wins the title in his first season after being in dead last place in JV last year. I think Rat goes and runs the table this year with his team, assuming Tyreek Hill is healthy enough, which I think he is because he's just a drama
Where do you
queen.
get Bright for?
And he always goes down.
Not now.
All right, Cheese, what is your finals prediction and who's winning it all?
I am going to be incredibly biased and take my team to win it all.
To win it all, okay.
Yes,
Wow.
I feel that Dak has been like all my team's been on fire lately.
Yeah.
Getting hot at the right time. You know, I got great matchups. I got really good. You know,
Okay.
Rat's gonna be a tough one. He's owned me this year, 0-2
Yep.
against him. But I feel that the bottom half of the bracket, with Bill's injuries, have
Open the door.
it's not looking strong.
Yeah.
So I feel like the winner will come from the top half of the bracket.
Oh. Okay.
Even though there's only
So
three
you're
of us.
so you're saying whoever makes it out of the top will win
Yes.
no matter what?
Yeah,
Alright.
that's what I'm gonna predict. I
Okay.
just feel like if Bill's team was healthy, he has a solid. I think Pook has a solid chance, but I just feel like the top team up here is stronger.
Okay.
And if Golfer makes it that far, theoretically everyone should be healthy on his team as well.
Okay, so you're saying yourself
But
versus who?
I'm taking it versus Pook.
Okay. Wow. That'd be an interesting one. All right. Let's see here. Pussy. What's your prediction on who makes the finals and who wins it all?
I want Bill to win.
Okay.
But I think Rat's gonna win.
Okay, so Rat versus who?
Rat will be playing.
The bottom half of the
I
bracket
can't
is.
believe this.
Oh, go ahead.
Rat is gonna be playing Cheese.
That's impossible.
That's not how that
I was
works.
gonna. I knew for a fact you didn't know the bracket, so I was about to tell you the bracket so you wouldn't sound stupid like that, but you cut me off. So
Okay.
Cheese and Rat would play in the semifinal.
Wait, don't tell him the other person in the top half.
Just pull up the bracket for him.
No.
No.
Who do you think's gonna be in
Just tell me the
finals?
teams.
Who
pull up
do you
the
think's
bracket.
It's Bill
It's
versus
any
Pook
other-
and Zombie versus Matt. So one of those four would make it all the way to the final versus Rat. Bill,
It's
Pook,
gonna be,
Matt, or Zombie.
I'll be Bill.
Okay, so Bill versus Rat, 1 versus 2.
That would be the worst
Yep.
finals, low key. I
Alright.
would hate that.
Facts.
Yeah. I mean,
You hate everything.
how often does 1 and 2 get all the way? I don't think that has it.
Me and Zombie.
Yeah. But last year it wasn't.
I don't mind Rat in the final. Just Rat Bill would be bad.
Last
Okay.
year wasn't. I beat Bill.
Rat Pook would be entertaining.
And the year before.
Rat Zombie would be incredibly entertaining.
Cheese lost, I think.
Okay,
Yeah.
Pook. What's your prediction?
I'm gonna pick myself to win, but if I had to pick somebody other than myself, I am going with the biggest upset in the history of this league. Matt is gonna take it all the way,
Okay.
and he's gonna beat Rat in the final by a final score of 85-82.
Really? Okay.
I would fucking kill myself if that happened.
Okay.
They will tie in the final.
Wait. So if Matt's going all the way, then Matt's beating you in the next round?
No, I said if I had to pick someone who wasn't me.
Okay.
I'm picking myself, but
Who would you play? Who are you playing if you pick yourself?
Oh, who am I playing? I am going to be playing Cheese.
Jeez, wow.
Oh,
Okay.
Actually, yeah, I'm gonna play Cheese. I'm gonna beat his ass. Jameer gives Pook in the cooler. Gonna score. I'm starting Tyler Lockett if I make the finals against Cheese. You can guarantee that. You can guarantee that.
Well,
can't wait for Gibbs
That
and Puka to get 80.
that would determine how that trade actually worked out. It just on that one finals week. Okay. All right, Zombie.
I will be playing.
Okay. You're or 06?
Cheese.
I would just like to point out
Oh!
I was the only one that did not put myself in the final to win it all.
Okay, that's
Not
respectable.
biased. Not biased. All right, Zombie, you're
No,
playing
because
cheese.
You're facing rat.
Well, I'm facing cheese first, but all right.
I will be playing cheese in the final.
Okay. Wow, a lot of people supporting Cheese's team.
I'm not supporting cheese. I just want to fuck cheese up in the final.
Whoa,
Whoa,
whoa.
Jesus.
Pause.
All right.
I said up. I didn't. Can you
All right.
hear?
I will. I wonder. My last question before we end. I wonder if Zach
Hey,
is.
didn't ask me.
Oh yeah, that's right. Sorry. Go ahead, Rat.
We know
That's
Kieran.
taking himself.
Yeah.
80,000 to
Obviously, I mean,
2.
why wouldn't I pick myself at number one? Who I will be playing.
Mhm.
Let me tell you, the two guys on the screen, I will not be playing because if I play them, Matt will lose by 50 plus. Zombie won't even be able to add all that. But at the bottom of the bracket, I think I either play Bill or Pook. Most likely Bill, and I beat Bill.
Ooh. Okay. So
But yeah,
Billers. Interesting. All right.
and if I play Pook, he still loses.
Real
Pook.
quickly, I wonder who Zach is rooting to win the whole thing. You know, he should money wise be rooting for Pook to win the whole thing and retain the
That's true.
trophy. But something
Or
tells me
me.
he's not rooting
You
for
know,
Pook.
you know.
He's
you
definitely
know,
not rooting for you, Cheese.
If cheese or rat win, I am
He'll kill
driving
himself.
down. I'm driving and delivering it to them.
That's
Oh,
okay.
well,
You
that's
can
nice.
drive
I'm
to-
not.
You
It's
can
just
drive
gas
down, Jay.
money.
I'm not driving to New York. I'm driving to your fucking family house. I'm not driving
Well,
into
I'll
New
be
York.
moved.
Fuck that.
I'll be moved back in by then. So
Yeah, I'm not driving into New York. Fuck that.
I'll be
Huh.
home.
By the way, did you ever get your name engraved on it? Because you never sent
No.
me
You should.
messages.
I know. I'm
Sometimes.
going to.
Well, you're running out of time, so
Look, whoever wins.
I got a
just win.
month. I got a month.
okay.
And
Well,
besides, the trophy isn't leaving.
oh, okay.
Get
All
your
right.
name engraved.
No,
Alright.
I know. I have to.
Well, you're lucky, Pook, that Ernie ain't in the playoffs with a chance to win it all. Because Ernie said if he won the whole thing and got that trophy, when he went to get his name engraved, he would get an asterisk put on your name that was engraved since last year with the DeMar Hamlin
I
situation.
mean, I feel like
But-
if he ever wins, he'll just do that.
Oh, maybe, but do we think Ernie's gonna ever win?
Nope.
The last two people Zach will want to pay for is Zombie and Matt. You think Zach wants to
Me.
pay for
That's
the
true.
silver
No, that's
Me.
true.
trophy?
That's
Yeah,
a
to
fact.
one of them.
And you
Yeah.
think he wants to pay?
he'd rather pay for cheese than he would zombie.
I mean, he would
and
just
rat.
drive.
He ain't
to
rooting
it.
for any of them. I think maybe he's low key rooting for me and Bill, maybe just because it's like the least of the worst.
No, I think he's rooting in this order. I think
Or Rat.
golfer, rat, Bill,
Yeah.
cheese,
And then nobody
me.
else. Yeah,
Yeah, well, nobody. Yeah, nobody
yeah,
else.
he ain't
After
rooting
that.
anybody past that. So, all right, well, we will see what happens this week in these playoff matchups. Good luck to everybody, and we'll catch you back to see what happens.